Long before refrigerators or modern refrigeration, in the heart of tropical India, a single luxury seemed impossible: ice. Yet in 1833, slabs of crystal-clear ice from the frozen ponds of New England journeyed 16,000 miles across oceans, changing lives, tastes, and societies. This is the improbable story of ice, ambition, and innovation. Meet Frederic Tudor, the audacious Boston entrepreneur known as the Ice King. In the early 18s, frozen pond ice was a novelty, harvested only by hand. Tudor's vision to ship ice to far-off tropical colonies seemed near insanity. But Tudor didn't rely on luck. He invested in horse-drawn metal ice plows, invented by Nathaniel Jarvis Wyeth in 1825. This dramatically increased harvesting efficiency. He also perfected insulation techniques: thick layers of tan bark, sawdust, hay, and straw surrounded densely packed ice blocks, slashing melt during voyages. With these innovations, Tudor built ice houses not just in Boston's fresh pond, but also in tropical hubs like Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras. On May 12, 1833, Tudor chartered the brig Tuscany, loaded with 180 tons of ice bound for Calcutta. The 4-month voyage tested his insulation genius. But when the ship docked in September, 100 tons of the ice remained intact. Locals at the port were astonished. Some thought the glowing crystal blocks were cursed. One man even believed he'd burned himself upon touching the ice. The British elite in Calcutta quickly built a stone ice house near Hare Street. Ice was duty-free and imported at night, clear proof of Tudor's influence. With ice selling at about 3 pence per pound, Tudor made roughly $10,000 profit on that first voyage. By September 1834, the success in Calcutta sparked interest in Bombay. Enter Jahangir Nusarwanji Wadia, a pioneering Parsi merchant who recognized the opportunity. Wadia began importing American ice via Tudor's agent and distributed it to Bombay's elite. A grand rotunda-shaped ice house was crowdfunded and built near the docks. It was the city's first cold storage hub. Ice sold for 4 annas, or R0.25 per pound. Ships like the Tuscany would unload ice directly into these warehouses, preserving it near the dock before rapid distribution. Soon after the first ice supplies arrived, another Parsi luminary entered the story: Sir Jamsetji Jajibhoi. In 1834, he hosted an extravagant housewarming in Bombay and served America's exotic invention. Ice cream. The debut was memorable. Some guests caught colds, while others dismissed this novelty as frivolous, but most regarded it as modern luxury. Tudor's company smartly popularized ice cream and chilled beverages in clubs, hotels, and elite households, making ice indispensable. From the 1830s to 1850s, the India-America ice trade skyrocketed, from 100 tons to over 3,000 tons annually in Calcutta, and hundreds more in Bombay and Madras. Tudor's Calcutta profits totaled around 220,000. Between 1833 and 1850, that is 4.7 mm today. The elite used ice for medical cooling, preserving perishables like butter and apples, and of course, indulgent refreshments. Parsi cooks and British clubs in Bombay increasingly served ice cream and chilled drinks each summer. The golden era fizzled by the 1870s. American Civil War, Indian Rebellion of 1857, and pollution in Boston weakened Tudor's ice supply. Most critically, artificial ice factories began appearing. Madras in 1874, International Ice Company, Bengal in 1878, Bengal Ice Company. By 1882, Calcutta's ice house closed. Bombay's became a warehouse, then was demolished in the 1920s. Only Madras's structure remains today as Vivekanandar Ilam. Frederic Tudor transformed a frozen novelty into global necessity. Developing cold chain logistics centuries ahead of refrigeration, Jahangir Wadia and Sir Jamsetji Jajibhoi brought that innovation to Bombay, making ice accessible and ushering in India's first love affair with ice cream. Typical sea route during 1830s. 1. Departure from Boston Harbor, Massachusetts, USA. Ships would set sail from the bustling port of Boston, a major hub for transoceanic trade. 2. Sail across the North Atlantic Ocean route past south of the Azores, using prevailing trade winds and Gulf Stream currents. 3. Stop at Madeira or Canary Islands. Optional resupply. Some ships stopped at these islands off the coast of Africa for fresh water, food, and supplies. 4. Down the West African coast. Sailing down the western coast of Africa, following the northeast trade winds. 5. Around the Cape of Good Hope in southern Africa, this was the most treacherous leg. Ships had to battle storms and strong currents around this cape. 6. Into the Indian Ocean. After rounding the Cape, ships would head northeast across the vast Indian Ocean, navigating by the monsoon winds. Summer monsoon, May to September, southwest winds. Winter monsoon, October to April northeast winds. Timing the voyage with favorable winds was crucial. 7. Through the Bay of Bengal, ships sailed past Ceylon, now Sri Lanka or the Andaman Islands, depending on conditions and currents. 8. Arrival at Calcutta via the Hooghly River final leg required skilled river pilots to navigate the dangerous sandbanks and shifting channels of the Hooghly River to reach Calcutta's port. Duration of the journey. Average sailing time, 4 to 6 months. Depending on weather, wind conditions, and stops, return journeys could take even longer if monsoon winds were not favorable. Ships used full-rigged sailing ships, such as East Indiaman or Yankee clippers, were common. These ships carried trade goods like from Boston, ice, yes, via insulated holds, textiles, clocks, and timber. From Calcutta, tea, jute, indigo, spices, opium, and silk. And though the original ice trade melted into history, its legacy lives on every time we enjoy a scoop of kulfi or iced chai under the sun. This was the story of Boston ice, carved with plows, packed with sawdust, and shipped across oceans, and of the visionary Parsis who built India's taste for frozen treats. Thanks for joining this chilly journey across history. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because the next time you savor something cold, you're biting into a transoceanic legacy. Thanks for joining this chilly journey across history. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe,